What's up, you guys? I'm Dan, this is Max, and today we'll be talking about some credit card strategies that have no annual fee. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In some recent videos, we've gone over various credit card strategies that are geared at travel. They're sort of more premium credit cards that carry a lot of perks. We looked at the Chase Trifecta, we also looked at the American Express Platinum card, and more recently we looked at the Capital One Venture X card. But what about those of you that don't want to be paying a high annual fee and don't see any real big benefit to things like Priority Pass or Lounge Access? Well, that's what today's video is about. We'll be looking at some cashback credit card strategies that have no annual fee. Now, just taking a step back here, most merchants will accept payment with credit cards, such as American Express, Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. But the credit card companies charge a processing fee. That's how they make their money. And these fees vary. The cheapest ones are MasterCard and Discover. Next is Visa. And then the most expensive, of course, is American Express. However, you may have noticed that generally there is, although some places do this, most places don't have a discount depending on your payment method. Some places do have a cash discount now, but most places still, it's the same price regardless of which payment type you're using. And what that means is that in order to keep their margins, merchants have had to include those average processing fees into the price. So you are still paying it for somehow. So how do we get our money back? Well, we can get some of that money back by using these cashback credit cards. So another way to put it is that if you're not using one of these cashback strategies to get, say, 1.5% or 2% back on all your purchases, you're really just overpaying by 1.5% or 2%. Now, again, an important caveat here that this video is only intended for people that can use credit cards responsibly. And by that, I mean something very different than what maybe they mean in the regular media. I mean that you don't carry a balance at all, zero balance from month to month. You pay your entire bill in full. This means you never pay any interest, you never pay any fees, and all you're doing is receiving the cashback rewards from the credit card issuer. So again, this is not for people that will carry a balance or get into debt. This is for people who are very disciplined and are paying the balance off every month and essentially just using the credit card like a debit card. Now, back in the day, one of my first credit cards was the Capital One Quicksilver MasterCard. This paid 1.5% back on everything, and at that time was really quite a good card. But now things have changed and we're actually able to get 2% back on everything. And so for this 2% category, there are two options. That's the Wells Fargo Active Cash 2% Unlimited and also the Citi Double Cash card. So if you're going to have just one card, you want to keep everything really simple, you might just get one of these two cards and get 2% back on everything. Now, personally, I wouldn't want to be a patron of Wells Fargo, given, the kind of shady corporate culture that we've seen, where they were, generating accounts without account holders' knowledge and this kind of thing. Some shady stuff that was going on there. They're just not my favorite bank in general. So I would probably get the Citi Double Cash card, and in fact, I do have the Double Cash card myself. Now, why is it called the Double Cash card? Is because you get 1% back at the time of purchase, and then 1% when you pay it off. So for those of us that are, again, not carrying a balance, it's effectively 2% back on every purchase, every cycle. And so if you're going to have just one category, then this would be the one. Now, I've done the math looking at my current budget and allocating, seeing how much I'm spending in different categories and what that would net out in terms of the cashback points. And using the Citi Double Cash, I would end up with $227 a year in cashback rewards. And with Citi, you can cash these out one-to-one as cash. So that's a nice thing. And not exactly how it works with Wells Fargo. Again, not my favorite company. So that's one option, pretty simple way to get, $227 on my average annual spend or my annual budget. Yours might be different. And actually, I have put all of this information, all of this spreadsheet on on my OneDrive in a public folder, and it is shared in a link in the description below. So you can make a copy, download a copy of this, and then play around with the spending in the different categories. And then you can also, you may have to adjust some formulas if you want to add new categories and that kind of thing, but I think this is a pretty good template here for you to get started on. Now, how about if you're willing to enter in a little bit more complication? So if we're willing to keep track of which credit cards are good for which categories, then of course we can do better than just the 2% straight cash back on everything. So let's run through some of the choices here. And first, I've run all of these cards as if they were going to be my only card, just to show you the math that, even with these cards that do kind of both, they have some categories and a certain amount on your other spending, it doesn't always work out, and so we'll see that here. So the first card is the Amex Blue Cash Everyday card. This is an American Express card. Gives you 3% back on groceries, 2% back on gas, 2% on department stores, and 1% on everything else. Given my annual spending groceries of $2,500 a year, that will net $75. Oh, and by the way, there are sort of category limits in some cases for how much you can get in terms of this, boosted or bonus rate. And so I've embedded that into all the formulas in the table in the spreadsheet that you can download again at the description below. So for this card, there's just not many other categories that are going to benefit me. There might be other categories that will benefit you. But I'd also earn 2% back on clothing, which I might buy from department stores. Although in practice, I don't really go to department stores at all. I was just being charitable to the card. And then earning 1% back on everything else, that generates $87. And so we'd have a total for the Amex Blue Cash Everyday of just $165. So definitely not as good as using a Citi Double Cash card, but hey, that's just using the Amex Blue Cash on its own. Another option, and a card that I have myself, is the Chase Freedom Unlimited, and this card has been a little bit boosted or improved in recent years. So this will give you 5% back on travel. That's a new perk. It also will give you 3% back on restaurants and 1.5% on everything else. So I got it at a time when it was just good for the 1.5% on everything else. Using this card, I would get $9 back on dining, and I'd get $50 back on my travel expenses. On everything else, I would earn $151. And so we are giving the Citi Double Cash a run for its money, but we're not quite meeting it. We're at $210 versus that $227. Next is another Chase card. This is the Chase Freedom Flex. I have the Chase Freedom card, which is sort of the legacy card, and now they have this new one called the Chase Freedom Flex. This gives you 5% on bonus categories. These are quarterly bonus categories that change, but generally it's safe to say you'll have one quarter with wholesale clubs with like BJ's and Costco. Oh, excuse you, Max. Then we'll have another quarter with groceries and another quarter with gasoline, and then one more quarter with something kind of random. But there are always ways using gift cards to try to maximize those quarterly bonuses. On top of that, there's also the 5% on travel and 3% on dining, 3% on drugstores, and 1% on everything else. There you go, buddy. So matching American Express, we get $75 back per year on groceries. Then we've got $2 in streaming. And matching the Chase Freedom Unlimited, we've got $50 in travel. I don't spend anything on gasoline, but you can see I put a gasoline line in there with some zeros so that you can put in your own gasoline spending. I don't have any gasoline spending because I have an electric car. Feel free to check out my channel for other videos related to Tesla content. And then finally, the 1% back on everything else will yield $77. And that gives us a total of $204. So not quite as good as the Chase Freedom Unlimited, and definitely not as good as the Citi Double Cash. Next, we've got another card that I have, and this is the Capital One SavorOne card. And I will note, by the way, just like with Wells Fargo, Capital One, in my view, doesn't have the best history in terms of ethics. During the period leading up to the financial crisis, where people were really getting leveraged up with home equity lines of credit, Capital One back in the day would also do a thing where they would give you very small credit limits, and then they would find people that are not like us, the people that are called deadbeats that pay off their balance month to month. What they want are people that carry the balance month to month and owe them interest and fees. I don't remember what the name for that is. There's a name for it. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, what they would do is give those people that rack up debt small credit limits. And then once they were near to filling up a credit card, they would send them an offer for another credit card. And so then they'd get the other credit card and rack that one up too. So they were very good at racking up late and over the limit fees. So that's Capital One, not the best history. But I'm going to give them another shot. It's been a long time since then, so we'll see how it goes with them. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just switch to another company. In any case, I have the Capital One SavorOne rewards card. This is a no annual fee. It gives you 3% back on dining, 3% back on entertainment, 3% back on streaming services, 3% back on groceries, and 1% on everything else. In practice, I'm actually going to use this in combination with the Capital One Venture X card. That card has a $400 annual fee, but you get $300 in credits and a $100 anniversary bonus. So effectively, because the fee is actually $395, they're paying you $5 a year to use the card, so I'm going to give it a shot. Oh, sorry. And the reason for that is that card gives you 2% back on everything. So it's really the best of both worlds using that combination. Back to this SavorOne card. We'll get again the $75 on groceries, but we'll also get $9 on dining, $1 on entertainment, and $5 on streaming services. Plus another $83 in other gives us a total of $174, but again, still nowhere near the City Double Cash. Alright, and the last one to mention, also a card that I have, is the Bank of America Cash Rewards card. This will give you 3% back on a category of your choice, which is pretty cool. You just go in there and then you change it. And this includes things like gasoline, online shopping, which is what I use it for, also dining, travel, drugstores, and home improvement. Then it also gives you 2% cash back on groceries, as well as wholesale clubs, and 1% on everything else. So again, running just this one credit card, we'd get $50 back on groceries, not enough to match the others. If I remember right, there's some kind of a cap on some of these too. And then we'd also get $30 back on travel, plus $78 on everything else, for a total of $158. Now in the right-hand column of my table here, you can see which is we've taken kind of the maximum. So you could, in theory, get all of these cards, or at least one of the cards that has the highest payout for a given category for you. And just remember to use that particular card when you've got that category coming up. And you can do it even better, like I said, of course, using the quarterly bonus categories from the Chase Freedom, or rotating categories using the Bank of America Cash Rewards. But just for ease of simplicity, we're not going to dive too much into those minutiae. Just know that you can do a little bit better. But in theory, if you just used a card that had the maximum payout for each of these categories, you would end up with a total of $287 in rewards, so it is worthwhile to add some complexity. We could make an additional $60, which is a pretty good percentage increase from the base of $227 using the City Double Cash Rewards card. So, which one should you choose? Well, this is where we do have to add in another wrinkle of complexity, and that is that not all rewards are created equal. So again, I don't really know about this Wells Fargo thing, but I do know about the others. So Capital One is great if you intend to use their travel portal or to transfer the points to their mileage partners. Then you can get at least a 1-to-1 transfer rate. However, if you want a statement credit, so really using it as a cashback card, it's 1 to 0.5. So in this case, just over $80 would be the cashback value of the Capital One SavorOne card. So not very good. With cards like the City Double Cash, you can get it again 1-for-1 as cash, so that's great. But that's also something that you can do with Chase and with Bank of America, except that here you have the ability to get a bonus on top of that. So with the Bank of America card, if you also have either a Bank of America checking account or a Merrill Lynch cash management account, the latter being completely free of any fees, and an account that I have as well, then you get a relationship bonus. And so you get an additional, I think, 0.25% bonus on your rewards, and those come directly as cash. So that's one nice way to go. Another one is with Chase, where if you also have a Chase Sapphire card, either the Preferred, which does though have a $95 annual fee, or the Reserve, which has a $550 annual fee. But if you had one of those, then you also get a multiplier. So with the Preferred, you get 1.25x when redeeming for travel. And with a Reserve, you get 1.5x when redeeming for travel. And then beyond that, we also want to think about who has sort of the best travel partners and just sort of the best overall value for points. And I think, American Express and Chase would be probably the top choices for everyone. And then Capital One below that. And then again, if we're talking about straight cash, then I think because it's easy to get a bonus from Bank of America, that actually beats out the Citi Double Cash card. However, given the math here, again, if I were just going to have one card, it would be the Citi Double Cash. And then up to you, depending on your spending, feel free to do the math using the spreadsheet and also considering which of the rewards programs, which of the points systems is most valuable to you. Think about that as well. Then you can come to your decision for what's kind of the best combination that's going to balance out complexity with reward. So I hope you found this helpful. Definitely good that there are some strategies out there that don't require paying an annual fee. Again, please use the cards responsibly. If you did find it helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.